Hi, everybody. Wow, I'm coming on at 10. Um, so let's get started. 1,965 days since Richard. So we've been doing this for almost well, I've given way over 2,000 live streams. And that's not including all the other posts, all the other posts. So it takes quite a bit to drive our government to do the right thing. And that tells you that there is an infiltration, that there is those in government spots that are up to no good, and in our military that are up to no good. And you see that clearly with what President Trump is going through. So let's start. 1,965 days since Richard was forcibly removed from his barracks room there on Fort Bliss and taken to the basement room. The basement is the arms room. It's soundproof, and his life was taken. They stole his body and they mistreated it, dismembered it, and trafficked to Mexico for disposal because the underlining common denominators of this group who did this to a U.S. Army soldier whistleblower. He was whistleblowing about the criminal trafficking, about all the harm done to children. Don't forget, a 14-year-old was living on post for 4 months being pimped out um, to the soldiers, to discredit the soldiers, really, to really blackmail, discredit, um, compromise the soldiers. And so they couldn't be a whistleblower, and Richard didn't fall for it. He was a stellar soldier, a distinguished honor graduate. When he was 15, he clept out of both 6 college credits of college math and 6 hours of German, 6 college credits of German, all in just going there, taking the test. Of course, he went to Volkshochschule in Germany. We homeschooled, but they did all kinds of other things. They didn't just stay at home, and so the math and the Volkshochschule, which is a German language um, school that they went to every day, him and his brother. Um, just for a few hours, and uh, but makes all the difference when you're in Germany to learn the language, right? To learn the language. And of course, he went to Korea to the language and culture school there in Korea. He loved that, and was learning Korean. Our son-in-law is Korean, and he just loved it. Uh, his um, his godchild, is our daughter and son-in-law's eldest child, and so he put in the effort. He put in the effort to learn the culture, to learn the language, and just a magnificent person. Richard, just a magnificent person. And you can go and look at a lot of videos and everything that we've posted, and maybe I'll do that. I'll do like a picture bomb again, a video bomb again of him growing up. And at the beginning of all this, when I would post them, I was reported. They were reported, especially on TikTok. These beautiful family videos, and that they reported them. They were trying to hide that from the public. They wanted a bad narrative out there for Richard. They could not have it that a whistleblower uh, was a stellar soldier, that he had a happy childhood, a healthy childhood, and that he was successful, that he aspired to great things like being a CID agent, which he already had submitted an inquiry about. So this is, make sure that I'm on, everything's on. And we believe that it took a long time for people to understand our family and Richard, and so so we kept going, kept going, and of course the CID told us that we had to investigate ourselves, and bring them leads. And I kid you not, they absolutely told us that. We have all the proof of that from the very beginning, that they told us that we have to investigate ourselves and bring them leads because they were in on it. And the common denominator is this Mormon faction, and that's very, very important in all of this, right? Because they have a loyalty to one another in this Mormon faction. And of course, um, this cartel, this cartel criminal trafficking enterprise that they were doing. And, so um, they had this, El Paso, they just have El Paso controlled by this Mormon faction that is cartel, that they are absolutely cartel. And so, they want to keep that border open. They want the worst type of crimes against children. The people that we have dealt with are very vile and vulgar. Very vile and vulgar, y'all. Very vile and vulgar. Just look up La Diabla targeting pregnant women. And so I want to make sure that I'm on. Yeah, there I am. Okay. And so I'm really, I'm just so happy to come on so early today. It's wonderful, because it is the Christmas season. I hope everybody is getting all of their Christmas preparations done. Do not forget to celebrate big for the birthday of Jesus Christ. Don't ever not celebrate that. It is just, a time of the light coming in into the world. And remember what I said the other night when I was reading through A Christmas Carol. Charles Dickens was saying that the dark is cheap, that the dark is cheap, and Scrooge liked it, right? Well, we don't want to be like Scrooge, right? We don't want to be like, even Scrooge didn't want to be like Scrooge. He came to the light at the end of A Christmas Carol, didn't he? So we are absolutely very, very busy with all the preparations, and that hasn't stopped us. That's why I'm just like so happy to come on so early, and I'll be up late. It doesn't, you know. It doesn't stop us from filing, and we're hearing that, of course, it's been making a difference, right? We have the Plenitude crematorium being investigated. We're really asserting a lot of pressure there to get our son's remains, and to get answers, right? To get answers. We know that this common denominator is the Mormon faction, the cartel, but also the funeral home business. Okay, the funeral home business, most of these people are mortuary affairs, like Tavita Noosa's brother. Solomona Noosa is the mortuary operations officer. And many of these people in this case, in this investigation, are tied to funeral homes and the mortuary operations surrounding. And that's why Mario Raskin Ortiz, the chief medical examiner, is so important. That he's illegal. He's illegal, and he's unqualified. So because they messed with bodies, and we have that with the Plenitude crematorium. Over 400 bodies just in that one little raid. In that one little raid, over 400 rat infested, maggot infested bodies. And don't tell me there's no Americans there, right? Don't tell me it's just a stone throw from the border. And this is a narco crematorium. It's a narco crematorium for whistleblowers, or for dumping the those that were victims to the organ harvesting, Do we believe that Richard's uh, body was organ harvested? There's a possibility. There's a possibility because of what these people were doing. And, they're into the insurances. And of course, with IDS Pueblo in the military, you have Richard's platoon leader, Dallas Hart, is the prime suspect in taking our son's life. And then you have his father in the IDS Pueblo. And it's just really curious that so many people in this have like 100% disability or high disability rates. There seems to be some question if there was pay for play, right? Pay for play. Quid pro quo. I guess quid pro quo would be the better description of that there was some quid pro quo. And people like the dark. They like the dark, and that is the destruction of our country. And so we don't like the dark, and we are every day fighting like President Trump. And I was looking through the coverage of this remarkable, amazing speech that President Trump gave last night. It was a whopper. It was what, 19 minutes of like jaw-dropping information. And the coverage in the media, you can tell that they're probably part of this Mormon faction cartel tied deep state, that they grift on, um, open border uh, uh, economy, right? The open border economy, illegal economy, right? The disgusting illegal economy. Um, and so I don't know if, well, of course, we know that there is monopolies in our economy. We see that every day that we have these huge monopolies. And they're attacking President Trump with the wanting to start new businesses, right? Not to have those monopolies. And of course, President Trump, day one, designated the cartels as FTOs, which was a huge, huge help because if you are aiding and abetting an FTO, that's a major offense. That's a major offense, and good, good because it's really being like treason and traitors, and stealing from our military bases, stealing from the people of El Paso and the United States. And so they don't like him too much. You can see that in the media. They don't like him because he wants to make America great again. And there is you know, um, a lot of talk about, the Epstein files and, um, the economy and all of that. This last night was just jaw dropping. And can you imagine what he's up against to get that all released um, eh, to get prosecution? I can't even imagine what he's up against to get some prosecution for, 48 senators, right? 48 senators, prosecution for, he even said it, those that he even dines with. That are up to no good, and we know a lot of them that are up to no good. And so it was really a very, very remarkable speech last night. We're very appreciative of him being president. It's just a wowzer because he just works endlessly to get this done. And on 4 days into his administration, we received the in the line of duty um, designation for Richard. This clarified, just changed everything, right? Just changed everything. And then in August, early August, we received the 2 letters from him that clarified even more, even more. So Richard absolutely was a whistleblower, absolutely. And, like the AI or whatever, they read these media outlets, right, as news, and so it's kind of spewing some fake news. I can tell you that right now, it's spewing some fake news. But just come here. We'll give you the truth. With hard evidence. We've been posting hard evidence for years. And we're just very appreciative to the in the line of duty from President Trump. And he gave last night lots of evidence, jaw dropping, about what he is doing and what he's up against. That this is an internal battle, that there is mutinous. Um, I can tell you that right now with Sean Bernabe, and they are absolutely mutinous generals in the military. And so the 1776, the $1,776 for the military is very, very important, because they have been used and abused so poorly. And now they have a commander in chief that really cares about them, is not starting these wars. And I think of the talk of the town, the talk of everything was that he would announce a new war with Venezuela, and that didn't happen, did it? Or is it? Oh gosh. Yeah, Venezuela. Uh, yeah, Maduro. And it didn't happen, did it? He is not. He has come out publicly and said that he loves MacArthur and, of course, Patton. And they didn't run nilly nilly into war, right? They didn't run nilly nilly into war, and especially MacArthur. He's just an amazing general. And how do I know this? Well, because my life has been that of a daughter of a 23-year veteran, the wife of a 30-year veteran, of course, the mother of Richard Halliday, the absolute hero and whistleblower of Fort Bliss. And so, yeah, so we went on tours, and we homeschooled, and so we read about these generals. And MacArthur is just amazing because he has the least amount of deaths on both sides. On both sides, he killed the fewest enemy, and he had the fewest of his own men that died. He was all about life and very strategic maneuvers to preserve life, but yet win the battle. So he was really amazing, amazing general. And for President Trump to really mention him and really like him, it's comforting. It's comforting, because he has the best intention for the United States. So I'm not going to chime in to this media frenzy where they got so played, and they're mad, and so they're reporting just garbage. They're reporting just garbage. I wanted to come on and really give kudos to President Trump, and with the facts that he has done amazing, amazing things, especially for the border. Look, you had the president of Mexico do a swift visit to Plenitude Crematorium just this last week. A surprise visit, a surprise visit. That tells you something. So they're being driven to understand the humanitarian crimes that have been committed in Juarez, Mexico, in Chihuahua, Mexico. And so the breaking news, is um, this Cesar Duarte. This Cesar Duarte, with his family living in El Paso, having businesses in El Paso, um, not reporting those this unexplained wealth. So Cesar Duarte, of course, is you know is under, well, he was arrested, right, for all of this money laundering. And so he's up to absolutely no good. And he's absolutely connected to Carlos Manuel Salas. And Carlos Manuel Salas is the prosecutor there that, well, they all tampered with Richard's case. So, it's important. That corroborates that he was a whistleblower because you had Ray Velarde take interest in and Richard Halliday. And Ray Velarde is the billionaire. Well, he's the lawyer for the billionaire cartel kingpin El Mayo. So, Richard was very, very important to all of them to do that kind of counterintelligence and to also do this cover up and to obstruct justice and tamper with his files. And at this kind of level with this many people involved. So, that corroborates that they were very afraid of Richard's reports. And that's why they tried to discredit him to the public because here he was, a distinguished honor graduate, guidon bearer, um, just the stellar soldier being promoted before his peers, with waivers. So he absolutely was a threat to them. And with President Trump's letters and with the DOD designation, it absolutely corroborates, they are absolutely corroborated that we've been right all along, And Laura, thank you for coming on. Can you elaborate more on the Mormon faction? Are they Texas or Mexican based? They're both, because Colin Wetton in the FBI assistant, thank you for asking that question. The assistant special agent in charge there in El Paso, his family, look up the Wetton family and Novo Casa Grandes, Colonial Dublin, Colonial Juarez in Mexico. They are very, very wealthy. And he's in the um, in the FBI leaking our son's file to the very perpetrators that did this to our son. So, that's a really good example. Woody Hunt is a Mormon faction that is in the U.S. He's based in the U.S. Und wie, my Oma would say, und wie, and how. I mean, he's huge. He's huge, and he has a lot of power and he has compromised so many people with his ill-gotten gain. And he controls like 80% of housing for the military. So yeah, it's he's up to no good because his foundation, El Paso Foundation, is the parent company of El Paso Matters, and Bob Moore absolutely targeted Richard, with the whole car issue, trying to entrap Richard in a false arrest and all of that. And that has been all debunked. They were trying to absolutely, there was a campaign to, uh, you know, discredit Richard. That's what they were trying to do. So, can you elaborate? Okay, so go to YouTube, search, find Richard Halliday, and she has all her lives there. You can hear all the facts on the Mormons, U.S. and Mexico. Thank you, Laura. But it's really important because, there's the Walmart mass shooting case that is also connected with this Mormon faction. And that is all coming out, right? It's all coming out. And we will be reporting on that too. But it is, Lilani Hart is Mormon, and of course, Dallas Hart is Mormon. The lawyer is Mormon. It's just the MP was Mormon. Um, you know, uh, yeah, there's just so many that were up to no good in all of this, and it's been a common denominator with the mortuary affairs, with the mortuary um, operations, and with there's a lot of deception, and that's what they're all about. They're all about major deception. So they'll call themselves Christian. They're not Christian. They will start Christian churches. They're not Christian, y'all. They are just trying to take advantage of people. They use Christ's name for a maneuver to get to earn trust from people, and they're not trustworthy. They are absolutely deceivers. They are absolutely monsters, and so all of that is coming out. You'll see it as and you see it in the TPUSA, this problem that they're having with all this deception, right? That's because half of Charlie Kirk's um, staff was this Mormon faction and up to no good. And that's why what Candace Owens is doing is being very helpful. She's asking questions, and that's what we did. And of course, she's getting attacked for it, just like President Trump when he wants to make changes and ask questions, he gets attacked. So that is really um, huge, huge developments. The letter from President Trump is a huge development. I just posted that again. I redact it because, these people are very deceptive, and they misuse very vital information that we put out. They access information, and they misuse it, right, to do harm. So we're protecting that. Um, I'm amazed at how people still say this is a conspiracy theory. Yeah, it's not a conspiracy theory. It was absolutely a criminal network, right? A criminal trafficking network. Um, so they are the sort of La Mora style polygamy Mexican faction in Mexico. Yes, and I would say, some of, like James Montoya. His name is James Bonneau. He's the French. He's the Canadian, right? And he, like his dad's name is Bonneau, his brother's name is Bonneau, but he changed it to Montoya and then left out Bonneau. If you go to his state bar, the state bar says James Bonneau Montoya. That's his legal name. But he left that out for the population there to get the vote, they're very, very deceptive, very deceptive. Um, yes, the August Trump letter is huge. That was written to Lieutenant Colonel Husband. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because Rob is an absolute hero. He has written I don't know how many letters, right? He's the behind the scenes power, right? Behind the scenes signature, and he's just done a remarkable job, a absolutely remarkable job, and we owe him a lot. He's a total unsung hero, and so is Richard, right? Richard is just a total hero. And I just am so proud to be mother and wife to these remarkable men. I just can't even tell you everything that we've been through and the attacks and everything, the threats, the bullying, the vile and vulgar messages and everything. But they are just, get behind me, Satan, right? Get behind me, Satan, and let's move forward and get answers for Richard Halliday. And that's what we've done. And so we are in the very, very vicious negotiation for his remains. It's international. But we won't stop. We won't stop. Um, and I think we're like, yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. And that will be a huge blessing to El Paso and to Chihuahua, Mexico. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for all your comments. And I will be back tomorrow.